What's happening, people? Welcome back to Free to Play Protocol. What up, Dan? What up, Feeny?
Oh, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen?
You figured out your channel.
Yeah, I figured out the name, with the OG Feeney, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, man.
finally got that. Got some shorts uploaded.
Oh, we just played Enlisted. And I have some things to say. You have some things to say.
Yeah, I do, and you know what I just noticed? That part of my screen was cut off, so I've been playing with a partially cut screen.
Jesus. I like Enlisted. I think if like you're just looking for good solid gameplay, good gun mechanics, like Enlisted is a pretty fun game. There's a lot going on in Enlisted, like the bombing runs that happen, the artillery, but the problem is everything takes so long to get.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest issue. They want you to just, you know, level up and it take forever to get people, but they want you to buy premium, which is ridiculous. You get a bunch of perks, you get extra squads, you get better XP to level up, but not everybody can afford or wants to get premium,
I know I don't.
and it makes it a big pay to win. Um, I enjoy the game. It's got a lot of downtime if you don't have good engineers on it.
Oh
If you don't
yeah.
if you don't have an engineer, you're running for 10 minutes to get to the fight.
Well, yeah, Enlisted is one of those games where if you're gonna pick it up, you need to pick a niche and play it. Like I play artillery and sniping, like distance and command roles. Like I funnel. And if you don't have somebody working in tandem with engineering and, having a tank that's set up in the right spot, it could be such a nightmare to play because, man, there are some really good players, and I don't know if they're just paying to play, and that's what gives them the advantage because, fuck, dude, some of the games can go so well in our favor, and then other games, it's just like we get rolled immediately.
Yeah, it's crazy to think because my two niches are I'm an engineer and then I run as a pilot. I like doing my bombing runs. I like claiming superiority.
Right,
Um, But when you have one engineer on the team that's building rally points and building sandbags, it's not going to help at all. Yeah, you can spawn closer, but I'm trying to fortify, I get shot, and nobody else is fortifying.
right.
Um, the biggest thing it would be to play with four people on as a group, and then you go on with the other people. But you have them four people, you probably can lock down every single game you play in.
Yeah, yeah, especially if you have somebody who's like really good with air superiority. You have somebody who's artillerying really well and controlling the battlefield. Like, there's no medic role, nothing like that. So, since that was the case, I didn't play a medic. I decided to be, demolition. So, I would run mainly anti tank and stuff like that. And when you are organized and you like each person knows what class you are and how to utilize it, and you start pinging and you actually communicate, the game is so good. And then there's just other games where it's a nightmare to just try to enjoy the game.
Yeah, it's a hit or miss with me. Um, sometimes I just can't get down with it. I can get very angry very quick because I'm super competitive, and when people aren't doing their roles, it's a big bothersome to me. The battle pass is okay. I mean, you can only do complete certain amount of things per day. That just forces you to go get the battle pass. Other free to play games that have battle passes, you don't have to complete things daily. You can just complete it and not have to worry about it because there's those free tiers no matter what. So you can keep upgrading the battle pass, but they limit to you how much you can do the free battle pass a day, which I think is a horrible idea.
Yeah, it's
I think it's
terrible.
dumb. Because they're just like I said, yeah, it's a free to play game, but they're forcing you to buy the premium battle pass, and I don't like that.
Conceptually, Enlisted is probably one of my favorite games right now because like the gun mechanics feel great, the damage feels great, like the K time to kill, TTK is not bad. Every weapon feels pretty good. Like, okay, some guns have pretty shit recoil, but ultimately you're not going to get too many guns unless you're buying into the game anyways. So like bolt actions, if you hate that, not for you.
I don't think all guns have good time to kill. I mean the MP40 rips, but I also use the let me go to the allies so I can get the gun in. M3 submachine gun, the grease gun,
Mhm.
absolutely horrible. Um, it uses a decent round, so I mean I sometimes I get hit markers on the head, which isn't this game particularly. Usually it's a headshot and it's kill. I've gotten so many hit markers to the head, it's pretty bad. I can sit there and put a half a mag into somebody with the M3 submachine gun, and it does almost nothing.
Right.
But like you said, if you like bolt actions, you're dropping them one to the chest, easy.
Yeah, easy. I mean, the martyrdom system's okay as long as your character has a meta pack, they can get up. But that can be really annoying, like if you have like 6 enemies running at well, a full squad running at you, and you're just bolt actioning them down, and they're not going down and dying. They're just going down to be revived. That's could like, be pretty frustrating because you have to like double up all of your shots or stuff like that. But ultimately, I like the bot system. I like that you can flip between characters. That's super cool.
I like the pod system, but it can be upgraded severely. I feel like you should be able to take each individual character and set them up around a area. Like, say there's 6 houses and you got 6 people, you should be able to put them in 6 different spots. Because if you start shooting from one window, you should be able to, take cover with that guy and make him hide, switch to another character, and ambush from another side. I think that would change the aspect of this game because you can set up ambushes with your own squad. Right now, you can put your whole squad in a house and then you can run away. But I think if you could divvy up what each player does or each bot does, I think that would improve this game tenfold to be able to control each individual character to sit at a certain place. Because we're sitting there half the time our teammates are helping us defend the bomb. But if I have a guy, behind the enemy lines, then one guy to the left, one guy to the right, and I can just tap Y and rotate in between them, he's going to focus on the guy I just shot with. Well, I just put him in cover. And now I can rotate the guy that's to his right, shoot him. Well, he turns over there. I can hide and rotate back to a different guy. Um, so I think individually, if you could control them and put them in different spots, it would help because you have an engineer. You don't want him at the front of the line, so maybe leave him 100 yards from the battle. Okay, but then you have a sniper, so okay, I want just a sniper to go 200 yards away. You can't. It's either all of them or none of them, which you know would be 100 times better if I can take one guy and put him where I want instead of just the whole squad.
I also feel like the bots suck. Like when you play something like Call of Duty and you play the bot matches and you play it on the highest difficulty like veteran, there is still a little bit of a challenge, not that much, but the bots in this are like playing on recruit. Like these bots are dumb. They don't see anything. They just stand there and stare at you. They don't crouch, they don't lay down. The bot system definitely is needs reworking.
Oh yeah, and they try to claim that you level them up, they play better. They don't. They crouch when you crouch. They lay down when you lay down. They don't have their own brain
Effing.
per se.
Yeah. Like to make enlisted great again, I would say the bots definitely are like the first big thing that needs to change, and then it's the like the battle system because holy fuck, is it a torturous grind from the bottom to have any equipment to do anything.
Yeah, like and the fact that people unlock things at different points is dumb to me. Pretty sure I was playing with you. You unlocked a bomber right away. I got to get to level like 22 to unlock a bomber for my plane.
I am a level 22.
Well, no, but you unlocked it way before.
Oh, did I?
Because you're like, oh, I unlocked mine at this level. I'm like, oh, that's weird. I just have a regular fighter plane. When everybody unlock should be similar. They shouldn't be scrambled and all this junk. It should be okay. Level 12, level 22, you unlock a bomber. Level 15, you unlock a P-51 Mustang. It shouldn't be you unlock it at level 7, I unlock at 22. It's not how it should be. It should be equal across the board because at that point you're taking advantage of people who can get a bomb because bombers are OP. If you can get somebody that's got a good bombing plane and can get good bombing runs and just keep doing it the whole game, it's going to control the battlefield. But the fact that well, this guy can get it 15 levels before I can. it makes the game weird to me. Unlock systems should be everything should have a set unlock, and that's just how it should be. Now, I'm not taking away from the game. We're just talking about things that be fixed, and if they can change that to fix it, it would help this game's longevity.
Oh, absolutely. There's definitely a good opportunity for Enlisted here. Like, in all considerations, I wouldn't have this game free to play. I would make this game a $20 game with a limited battle pass that's like, here's a different color MP40, stupid shit, cosmetic shit. Because this game has enough stuff in the bag. Like the gameplay is solid, the variety is solid, the tanks feel good, the planes feel good. Everything feels good except for how the game plays itself. Like it's set up. And it's so frustrating because I want to play Enlisted all the time because the game just feels good. But I don't want to introduce people to it because it's like, what do you mean I have one squad and all they have is Car 98s? It's like, I'm sorry, but that's just how this game starts off. You're just stuck unless you want to spend $60 and buy a squad.
Now, I want to make sure this is correct and I'm not giving the wrong information. If you can hit campaign for me and go to the allies, can you do that for me real quick?
Cannot.
You cannot. Okay. Well, I wanted to check if we have the same unlocks. Um, but to my knowledge, they're different per person, and I just want to double check that. But
I mean, they could be on like a minor scale, but I don't
I
know.
think it's a major scale. I don't think it's a minor
Because don't
scale.
forget, I had premium for 4 months. I actually played this game on premium because originally you were able to get the enlisted tokens that you could use to buy the next battle pass. So I did 4 months where I paid for one battle pass and then did every single mission to get the next one. I did that. So it's very possible I just unlocked them because I was a premium player at one point.
That's the thing. No matter what, it's that doesn't change. They still if free to play level ups will never change. That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. And when we first started, you were a level 12, and you got the bomber, and my level 12 is a fighter pilot.
Yeah, but I might have been a premium at the time.
I don't know. I still think it varies person to person.
I don't think it does, but it's a possibility. We would have to double check that, so I don't really feel comfortable stating that.
That's why we should check that.
Yeah.
But this game has a lot of ups and downs. Um, and the longevity of the game is going to depend on what fixes they do and what they implement down the road.
Yeah, because it's
How
it's
long's the game been out?
loaded with content. It's been out for like a year and a half now.
Year and a half.
Yeah, it's been out for a while. But it's loaded with content. Like, you have the allies and the access as the first mode that anybody's gonna play, right? At Normandy Beach, that kind of stuff. But they have all the way up to the Pacific Beach and all kinds of stuff. Like you have different squads for different level ups and everything like that. And the game is in depth in that regard. And you can do different campaigns with your friends and you start from square one. But that also is detrimental because let's say you want to play the new release, the new maps, the new squads, everything, different warfare. If you're going up against people with premium accounts and let's say even though you have 120 hours in the game, you still have to start from square one. No premium content, bolt actions only, no squads. That sucks. There's no carryover, and that's not fun.
The only way, they combat that a little bit. Also, warning the people if you buy this game and you want to quickly get a vehicle, say you want a vehicle or a soldier and you want to just go out and buy them, read the fine print because if you go to buy that vehicle, you still can't use it until you're that level and or soldier.
Right.
So just be wary of that because I can go buy a bomber right now. I can purchase it with my own money, but I still can't use it till I'm level 18.
Yep.
So just be wary of that. That's how they combat pay to win a little bit. But if I'm gonna buy something, let me use it. I shouldn't still have to buy it and not be able to use it till I'm level 18. Because guess what? I could get bored of the game and never pay it again, and I just paid $30 for a vehicle that I never used.
Yeah, it's kind of like scummy marketing. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like, I would say if you enjoy or you wanna check out Enlisted, I wouldn't put any money into it, and I would just play it for what it is and let it die, because unless they make serious overhauls to how the game functions overall, especially with the pay-to-play aspects, this game's not gonna last.
No, it won't last at all, and that's sad to say.
Damn, like, the snipers feel good. There's just so many good aspects of playing the game. The maps look really good, the explosions shake the screen really well, everything feels good. Like, it's just I would have rather paid $30, $20 to have this game and it be fully functional.
Yep, I agree. And will we ever get that? You never know.
Well, we
You
can
don't.
hope. We can hope. I'd like to see Enlisted, okay, you guys were all early players. You guys get the games for free. We're gonna change the XP system so it's easier to level up. Little things like that is really all it takes, and then make the game $10 on sale, and then have it on sale for 6 months, and then jack up the price to $20. Whatever. As long as I can get squads easier, there's more weapons available to me. That's all that really matters. If they just open the game up a little bit more to people who are already playing it, as well as people who are going to get it down the line, Enlisted could easily become a number one World War II shooter. Easily.
Easily. But they're starting to get competition. World War II shooters are starting to come back. Nothing, and the only thing that holds this against other games is the way the squad system works.
I say it's how the
You can go
Battles
play
Pass
Hell.
system works.
You can go play Hell Let Loose. You're a single character, and in this game you command your own squad. So it's gonna set itself different from each World War II game that comes out, but they're not helping themselves right now.
No, no. The UI could be overhauled. It's pretty complicated. Just setting up a squad, setting up a team, setting up how you want to play. The perk system's fine. It doesn't really add too much, but it makes a difference when you're playing the game. But the card system to get weapons and ammunition, or weapons and accessories like grenades and stuff like that, it can be kind of daunting at first, because there's a lot going on in just the menuing aspect before you even go into a fight. And then it's like, oh, I forgot to put one thing on the guy that I wanted to use in this one squad that I can only use once every, what, 10 minutes? Unless I sacrifice my entire squad over and over again, so I always spawn as this platoon. It's frustrating.
I'm looking at the prices and stuff too. What's nice about the premium account, um, you can do 1 day, 7 days, 15 days, 30 days, 90 days, and a year. And a year isn't, me doing the math. A year is not too bad. It's $35 for a premium account for the year. It's not too bad. You're basically paying for the game essentially if it was on sale on like CD keys or something like that. If it was a full $60, it would come out to like 65. So you get a 50% off.
Right.
So the fact that you can get a premium for a year for $35 is not too bad, but having to constantly buy it year after year,
Right.
that's a lot of money you're going to put into the game. If they gave me an opportunity to get, hey, you want premium forever? Here's $80. If I love the game enough, I'd do it, because then at that point, 4 months down the road, you have what you would have spent if you did yearly,
Right.
or 4 years down the road, essentially.
I could definitely see like a lifetime battle pass system being very useful for a game like this, because they're constantly doing additional content. And there's a lot of talk on the forums like, oh, this $60 team is so much better than this other. It's not going to make a huge difference. And like when you start getting into like the higher ranks, like you're playing against people who have equipment and have been playing for a long time, you start buying into the game. You're not going to turn the tides of war against those teams. People are going to outplay you, because this game has a lot of tactical play. It has a lot of skill that's involved in what you're doing. You can't just expect to buy and be the best. And I do like that.
Yeah, I can appreciate that 100%.
But you can definitely buy and have a severe advantage.
Yes, yeah. Don't let that, you know, change your minds. You can get a severe advantage if you get a whole squad of full assault rifles when everybody's running around with bolt actions. You can go in, wipe out 4 people. Your guy goes down, and the guy's like, "Oh, he's probably just got a bolt action because that's what 90% of people have is one a guy with an assault rifle, and everybody else bolt action." And he comes in and wipes you out with an assault rifle, and you're like, "I'm gonna go back in there," and you kill him. Ah, he doesn't have another assault rifle. Well, guess what? My whole squad's got him, and I just wiped you out again. So
Yep.
it's a pay to win, and it's not a pay to win in a sense, but if you spend money, you're gonna have the upper hand.
It depends
Not
on
an
your skill
extreme
gap.
advantage, but
Like if you're on console and because this game's crossplay, like if you're on console and you're struggling to keep up with some of the PC players who are just rocking bolt actions and dropping your fully kitted assault squads, like you're kind of bad at the game. But at the same time, if you're on a match and everybody's rocking bolt actions, and then there's that one team with the assault rifles, it's not really going to make a huge difference no matter what console or video game or PC they're playing it on. I don't know why I said video game. But you know what I mean. Like, there's still big skill gaps. Like, not everybody can snap a headshot. Not everybody can quick scope. Not everybody's going to be able to utilize an assault rifle correctly in this game because there is, really unique mechanics at play for you to handle those weapons correctly.
yeah, the way each weapon is differentiated, that's not even a word. The way each weapon has a different recoil pattern, appreciate. It's not a, oh, learn this recoil pattern, you're gonna get it. It's different because you could be having bombs go off and you can't control the shot at all unless you have a perk that helps you. But it's nice to know it's more of a realistic recoil than it is a generated one like you have in a lot of these games that, oh, you follow this recoil pattern, you're gonna not miss a shot, you know, or a randomized one. It's nice. I'd rather have it how it is now, realistic to what the gun is. It's not going up and making a T, or you're not gonna have a recoil pattern in the shape of a Z. It's just it's realism,
Hmm.
which I appreciate about the game.
Like the M1 Grand, it has a really solid kick to the shoulder, and you can spray it, but your gun's just gonna fly to the sky. You need to be patient with your shots. You need to line up your shots and take your shot and be 100% sure that you're gonna hit your mark. And that's brought on by like the bolt actions because you don't want to be trying to lay down fire with the bolt action. Like that's not a suppression weapon. That's not the point. Like you want to make sure you're not seen and you're putting that bullet downrange and you're hitting your target. And that carries over with every single weapon in the game. And they drill that into you in the early game with the bolt actions. Like, yeah, the bolt action's great. It can one tap an enemy. That's awesome. But if you can't hit your enemy at 50 yards with a bolt action, this game's not for you. It's not going to be easy.
No. Um, is there anything you would upgrade to anything in this game? Like, if there's one thing that you would upgrade, not talking about battle pass, we're talking about mechanic wise, squad wise, what would you add to the game?
My big one would definitely be the ability to look at a map and then coordinate your team effectively, like to have characters and then just be like, you go here, you go here, you go here, and you go here, or have different patterns of movement. Because right now they're just like clumped up on you. But to be able to like fan out and have a wide stance or a closer stance, depending on what you're playing, would be huge. Just having a pie wheel to select your formation would be awesome. And then my other big change was if I'm shooting, I expect my squad to at least look at where I'm shooting and try to have the AI start shooting at the enemy I'm shooting at. Because the fact of the matter is if I'm shooting and the squad's just standing there doing nothing, it makes that system almost pointless.
Now, my two big ones are is a VoIP system. The only VoIP that I really have noticed is if you have your group, which is a group of four.
Right.
Now, to stop people from screaming in the lobby, whoever's the leader of that group of four, there should be a squad lead essentially, where you guys can talk to each other without having to type. Like you should be able to have a separate push to talk button that you could talk to the leaders of those groups essentially. So you can set that up. You know what I mean? You could set up um
I
formation attacks, which no, and it would help with the VoIP because there's no VoIP at all unless you're in the same group as somebody. And I think that's what hurts this game is because there's other games, War of Rights and Hell Let Loose. Those squad leaders, if you're an Alpha Squad, easy company, you can talk to just the leaders of those squads to organize an attack.
right.
And when you just ping something on the map in this game, nobody knows what you're talking about. You could be just pinging a single enemy, not, hey, attack here or let's do this. The fact that you should be able to talk to other people and coordinate attacks would be huge. And my second big one is when you were talking about, firing. I like the system where you can, we talked about it a little bit where I want, separate ability to send people elsewhere. Give me an ability to set them up and let me tell them, all right, I need you to start suppressing firing now and have them just start firing in a single direction so I can move up to a different building. Give us something to, because we can hit X on at a tank and they'll just go attack the tank. That's cool. Let me sit them down in a building and if I hit covering fire, they just start sending rounds down range so I can move or another company can move.
That'd be suppressive.
Um,
Covering fire wouldn't be like that.
yeah, huge covering fire would be a game changer to this game.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of little things that I think just need aspect changes. Like the tanks are fine. They're tanks, so they're supposed to be tanky, but I'm going to use this terminology oddly. The Piats, I mean, 2 rounds from a Piat should be taking down just about any tank if you're hitting it in the wheel or the rear. But sometimes I just feel like this game is just glancing blows everywhere. Like anything armored, it's always glancing blows. And I'll hit it right on the turret, and it's a weak spot, and I know it is, and it should detonate the charges within it. But nope, I got a glancing blow because it decided to turn its turret, and I hit the barrel of it by a centimeter. And little things like that really irk me. Like when I have the 100-kilogram bombs and it lands literally next to a tank and does nothing. No, that's not realistic at all.
I agree. I appreciate how they show the tank in the top right hand corner where your rounds are hitting. But if I'm in a plane and I have a 30 mil cannon and I put 100 rounds into the tank and it says there's nobody injured on the inside, that's not going to happen. Those rounds are going through that tank like Swiss cheese, and I'm hitting the ammo in there, and it's going to blow up. But to tell me I do a strafing run and I don't miss my shots on a tank and I get no kills on it, and it doesn't disable the tank. At least if I don't get kills, let me disable it. Let me take the tracks out. I can hit the tracks and it says, "Oh, you hit the tracks," but guess what? It's still moving.
Right. I
It's a
agree.
30 mil cannon. Like I'm shooting from above on its weak spots. All tanks back in the day, the weak spots were the turret, the back, and from above. So even to this day, weak spots to tanks are from above. That's why most modern weaponized weapons, like the javelin, fall from above on tanks.
Right.
Um, but give us something because tanks are so
Broken?
OP in this game to a sense to where how am I supposed to take it down unless I run up and put a blasting charge on it?
Right. Yep. And that's another thing. Like, I like the explosive charges. I think those are pretty useful. I like that you can use them like grenades and things like that. But why is there not like a tar soaked one or something like that? That was common in World War II. They would remove their socks, put the explosive charges in it, dip it in tar, and throw it on the tank. If they did that all the time, how is that not an item?
I don't know if they think it's OP or whatnot, but some games do have that. There's a game that I've been playing lately that there's a guy that runs the guy I was playing with ran an anti-tank personnel and he had a sticky charge. He would run up, he'd get killed most of the time because nobody was covering him, but he'd run up, he could plant a charge right on the tank. And there's no warning sign, there's no nothing. You don't see it, the tank's you're dead because I've watched a guy plant it, run away, and we're just all stop fighting just to watch this tank going down the middle of a field and just blow up out of nowhere, and they have no idea what happened.
Yeah.
But like you said, you should be able to stick it on there. I mean, Call of Duty World at War had sticky Semtex grenades.
Right.
There's none of that in this game.
I mean, there might be, like, way down the line, it could be premium content, it could be coming, but, like, it's just an I what a disappointment that it's not in the game, like, immediate disappointment, should have been the first thing an anti-tank unit got immediately was sticky. That's it.
Or even the stick charge, where you'd run with a stick and you hit the tank with it and it'd blow up.
Right.
I forgot what they're called, but they use them a lot of World War I and World War II. But even the anti-tank rockets just don't do anything.
Yeah, and the
Even if you hit it in a weak spot, like
shooting, like, a Piat or a Stromwerfen, like, into a window where there's a bunch of guys, like, okay, yeah, they're concussed, blah, 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 but that's an explosion that just went off in like, a closed room. Like, the fact of the matter is, like, they're not getting up from that. That should be a wipe. Like, but I don't wanna break some of those weapons and, like, make Piats, like, this super broken item. But, like, in reality, they are. Like, that's what they are.
and they did that with some weapons, like the flamethrower. That's realistic as all hell. It's you shoot that through a window, you're burning everybody on the inside.
Flamethrowers
Um,
are awesome.
but going back to the aspect of the rocket launcher, the RPGs, they're somewhat useless. The range on them is awful
Yep.
as well. Let's talk about that. The range on them, you can easily shoot at 200 meters without it dropping. And I've watched some of them where I try to use it, and it would go 50 meters and drop like a boulder coming out of the sky. So you're telling me I have to get in within 50 meters of a tank when they're surrounded by infantry and their gunner in there is just unbelievably good and just going to take me out? Like it, they focus too much on making tanks the big power it is, and one good tank can change the whole battlefield. There's nothing you can do about it at all.
Well, with the Piats, you can change its zeroing, and same thing with the sniper, you can change the zeroings, the Stromwaffen, you can change the zeroing, and you can make it shoot farther. So, like, that is in the game. But you're still correct, like, there have been times where I'm 3rd floor, there's a tank 2 blocks down, I change my zeroing and I fire it, and it's, like, almost there, and then it just slams into the ground, it's like,
Yes.
"What?" And it's like, I'm trying to get a height advantage so I can hit the top of the turret, so I can do the most damage. Logic. And still, the game fights me on fighting tanks, and it's super frustrating.
Yeah, it's interesting to say
But
the
then
least.
you get in a tank, and it's like you can't even get to the battlefield sometimes. It's like you
Yeah.
yeah. Some dude shoots you with the bolt action and you're dead, and it's like, what the hell just happened?"
That's where pay to win comes too. I'm pretty sure the better tanks you have, the faster the turret moves, and it's opposite. So the lightweight tanks, the turrets always move faster, but they're super slow. But when you get into the heavy tanks, those move faster, even though they're slower in real life, and it's off.
It's weird.
The game's a hit or miss. It's good some days, it's bad some days, but I'm not going to continuously play it until it's good every day.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those games that, you load up. It's like, oh, I'm chilling with the boys. I just want to play with something. Enlisted is a good game because it's free. Any of your friends can get it, and you can hop in and play it. But at the end of the day, like, if I'm gonna play Paladins or something like that, and then it's like, oh, I want to play something a little different. It's like, okay, Enlisted is an option, but I'm never gonna give it too much emotion. Like, I'm not gonna get upset over Enlisted because I know what the game is, and there's no competitive scene. Some games you just get rolled. It's just the way it is.
And it's the way the cookie crumbles. I mean,
Do you recommend the game? Because I personally recommend the game.
I I recommend it to an extent. Um, like I said, there's a lot of ups and downs that we talked about it, and I'm not going to repeat it. But if you like World War II games, play it. If you like long grinds, play it. If you don't like long grinds and you feel like you're outmatched, don't pick it up because you will get angry. Um, but I recommend to at least try it.
Yeah,
Don't take our opinions to take it with a grain of salt. because your opinion can be completely different. I say download it. It's free. What are you going to lose other than 2 hours, an hour of your time?
I think the game it's not in a position of it worth being absolutely hated. It's just one of those things. It's like it's a game. It functions. There's not too many bugs. There's not too many glitches. There's not too many modders. The game modes are pretty good. The campaigns are pretty good. Mechanics are fine. Play with your friends. Don't take it too seriously. Don't give it money unless they change how they handle it. Because right now it's like not worth any money to me. But as a game worth playing, sure, absolutely. If somebody messaged me right now and was like, "Yo, hop on Enlisted," I would.
Yeah, it's definitely a game to play with your friends, especially that it's free to play.
Mhm.
Um, I played it for 2 days, and I won't play it for a month, and I'll play it for a day, and I won't play it for 2 months. Like that's the kind of game it is for me.
Right,
It could be different for you. It could be the game that you want to play every day. I'm gonna put money into it, and I'm gonna go as high as I can. That's why I said try it. If
yeah,
you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. All you lost is 2 hours of gameplay.
right. I mean, there's nothing else really like it either, because the squad system, the little MOBA aspect of it, I can't think of any other games where you can just swap between these bots and things like that. Like the chaos of the battle of this game is there. When you have 3 squads running in and there's 24 to 30 characters all rushing a point, it can get really crazy really fast.
Yeah, the only other game I can remember anything about the squad system like that is Desert Storm back in the early 2000s. I think maybe that's where they got it from, is you could switch in between each character in your squad. But again, that was just offline campaign.
Right,
And it's great that someone implemented it into an online game because it changes how a first person shooter handles. And it's nice to see something that old come into a new game.
right. I think that's why I keep coming back to it is just because it doesn't feel like I'm playing Battlefield. It doesn't feel like I'm playing Call of Duty. Enlisted is really of its own. It's its own caliber of a game, and it's sad to see it not being a phenomenal game. It's just like this, okay, it's a good game kind of thing, but it's whatever. It could disappear tomorrow, and it's not really a huge loss.
I agree. And I only come back to it is if my friends are playing. I wouldn't be able to sit here and play this game by myself. And it goes back to us talking about how nobody likes to do certain things. Engineers, assault squads, anti-tank. Um, so I recommend if you're gonna play it, get a couple of your buddies to play it with you to get the full experience. Because I feel like if you go in by yourself, you're not gonna get the full experience of Enlisted. Um, Unless you like playing games by yourself, try it. But I recommend getting one or two people with you, just so you can get and feel the full experience of, well, I'm gonna run this way. All right, you set up a smoke grenades, you smoke. I'll run it from this side. You wait 2 minutes and have your buddy come in later.
Yeah.
Um,
There's definitely a lot of organization and a lot
yeah,
of niches that this game wants you to utilize. Like, when I was playing with you today, I was using a smoke and explosive mortar team, and I would always say, just mark where they are, and I'll just start laying down explosions, and then I'll turn and I'll look at our objective and smoke our objective and start pushing on it. And little things like that can completely turn the tide of the battle. Like there were many opportunities when we were mortaring at the end of the last game we played, where if our fellow teammates weren't only concerned about getting kills and actually wanted to play the objective, when it was smoked, they could have put explosive charges in it, blown up their barriers, got some engineers in there, put our own barriers up, and we could have held that point. We could have put down a new spawn marker close by, but all they cared about was getting kills. And even then, not playing objective, they got less kills than me because when you play the objective and you're organized with your teammates, that's how you roll people. That's the best way to achieve competitive nature. If you're communicating, if you're organizing yourself and you're setting up systems before you run in, tactics before you run in, yes, you're doing a lot of assumption plays, but that's what makes this game good. is when you have two, like a squad of 4 people and the other people all organizing their own tactics to win.
And that's sadly what this game doesn't have. Everybody runs it like it's Call of Duty, and I think that's its biggest downfall.
Well, Call of Duty has ruined a lot of gaming for a lot of people because they're so stuck in just spawn, run, spawn, run, spawn, run. You can't just waterfall every single game you play. You can't. Even if you're going to play Halo Infinite, you need to work with your team. If you're going to play Enlisted, you need to work with your team.
Hopefully, you guys take that and listen to us, and you know, you try to play it your way. If your way is waterfalling, try and watch how miserable it's going to be, and then try it in a teamwork way and see the difference. Um, because you could go in there and you can drop 120 kills, yet you got steamrolled because kills don't matter. Sorry to tell you, in this game, they don't matter. The
They don't.
objective is the biggest thing in this game.
Hmm.
You can have, like I said, you can have 100 kills and you're gonna lose.
I mean,
So,
my way of playing this game, as I've stated, is a lot of explosive, a lot of artillery, a lot of stuff like that. Sure, I could lay down artillery on the outside of the map, nowhere near the objective, and get 30 kills, but there's no point. I'm going to put the artillery behind the point that they're using to push on the objective so that way my team can move in and take that objective. I can walk away with 110 kills. In fact, I normally do. But those 110 are all focused on the objective so my team can push.
yep. And then, I'm still getting, me personally, I'm getting 30 to 40 kills a game. It's not because I'm bad. I'm very good at shooter games. But I'm the engineer. I'm going up, getting my spawn point 50 meters away. So I'm getting so many points from people spawning on my spawn points that I'm getting top four. And then I go in a plane. Well, what am I doing in the plane? Why do I only have 35 kills? Because I'm focusing on air superiority so they can't do bombing runs.
Hmm.
And then when I take the plane out, I have somebody mark and I do 2 runs. Either they're successful or not, but guess what? They're still pushing the enemy back because there's bombs and rockets going around them. And then I circle, take out another plane. So keeping the enemy back from the objective is the biggest thing. You might not be getting kills, but we're keeping them back from pushing the objective, allowing our teammates to go up, and then I'm getting a crap ton of points because I'm strategically placing spawn points instead of everybody who places them way back or just doesn't place them at all. You can even potentially get number one if you do the best you can as an engineer and you get the best spawn points and you just barricade the objectives, you can still get number one by only getting 40 kills.
Dude, engineers can make or break a match. Like, you could win a match just with one good engineer. If you have one good engineer who's setting up awesome spawns and not creating these locked in areas that you have to jump out of a window that traps everybody's bots.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's so bad. There is still things that you need to learn. Every single class that you need to pick up, there are things to learn. If you're gonna run an anti-tank, you need to learn how to flank correctly. You need to know how to set your squad correctly. If you want to be a mortarman, you need to know where to spawn. What is the range of your mortars? What is the environment? Is there a hole in the top of that building that it at this meter mark I can hit the objective from this distance? Like, there are a lot of things in Enlisted that are done extremely well and make it worth playing, but at the same time, the system in place is so obnoxiously annoying. It's so slow to level up. It's so slow to get members and to enlist characters. It's so slow to level up your squad. That's the core of the issue with me.
And I agree 100%. Um, and it hurts to see it because the game has so much potential,
Yeah.
and with the way their core system is set up, it hurts the game so much.
Hmm. Well, that's it. Let us know what you guys think down below of Enlisted. Let us know what you think of the podcast, of course. And go check out Feeney's channel. He'll be making content eventually, but he has shorts, which are always fun.
Yep, just focus on some shorts right now, and then trying to figure out what I want to do for my first video. But spoiler, I'm currently just recently got into anime, so every anime I finish watching, I'm gonna give an update on it and what I think of it. Currently halfway through Naruto Shippuden in about a month and a half. So I've been grinding to get this video out. Been watching a lot of Naruto. So, but again, like and subscribe to my man Zephyr here, and hope you guys enjoyed the video.
Bye, everyone.